Hello and welcome to the Movie Therapy channel. We are Jim and Sam, and this is the show where we like to give you our rating first and then talk about the things we did and did not like about the movie you just watched. Today's movie is Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now, before we get started, I'm just going to say I'm not your normal moviegoer when it comes to Godzilla. I grew up with Godzilla. As an example of how much I like Godzilla. The Godzilla movie, there's another Godzilla movie, two more right there. Godzilla movies, more Godzilla movies. Original Godzilla movie, so good. Such a classic. Turtle Godzilla trilogy, so good. Turtle Godzilla is the best. Just to say that I am a massive Godzilla fan. I may not be the best judge of character for this film since it is ingrained in my DNA. I have loved Godzilla probably since I was like 2. So my thoughts on this film may not be sane. I will try to talk sane about it, but we are letting you know what we thought is either see it, wait for it, or pass it in 3, 2, 1. See it. I loved this movie. I wasn't 100% on board until one particular moment where I was like, yes, finally. And then you actually looked at me in the theater and you're like, oh, you
were so cute. I knew you were. I was like, this is his moment. I can't watch the screen right now. I'm watching you.
Okay, so Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Already got out of the way. Massive Godzilla fan. I think on a trying to take my fandom out of it, yes, there are things that I think people might have an issue with this film. But for me, I mean, if your issue with Godzilla 2014 was that it was too slow and we didn't have enough Godzilla action in it, this is the exact opposite. I mean, this is a big, bombastic monster action film. It is big, it's loud, it pretty much starts, it hits the ground running. The monsters are, they're just, everything about this film revolves around the monsters themselves, and that's one of the things I really, really liked about it. So Sam, what are some of the things that you liked about this film?
Oh man, the monsters were great. The monsters were amazing. I mean, every single one of them. I wanted to see all 17 of them.
Yeah. So I agree. The monsters are fantastic. You got the ones that we've seen in the trailer, Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah, and Godzilla. When the monsters actually start fighting, it is great eye candy.
I mean, everything about the fighting was so over the top amazing. It was really good.
Yep. One of the other things that I will give the benefit to this film, critics have been kind of trashing it a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, especially when it comes
to... I haven't read anything about the critics.
So it's not sitting too high with the critics, and a lot of them are complaining about the human characters are inconsequential and that you won't care about them. I actually did like the human characters. I thought they were a big upgrade from the previous film. I thought the relationship with Kyle Chandler via Farmiga and the girl that plays Eleven, her name escapes me right now, sorry. But their whole dynamic I thought was fantastic. It allowed me to root for the human characters in the scenes. Mm-hmm. And I thought it added an extra dimension to the monster action that was sorely lacking in the previous one.
I actually did not have an issue with them. I think in the beginning, I did think it was they were a little off. I didn't really buy into their family dynamic until a little bit later into the film. And then I really started to enjoy the three of them driving the film. And I mean, I feel bad that we're just calling her 11, but 11, her whole character line was really fun to watch. It was very interesting to watch her go through all of these emotions and then being this big component to what the ending was really about.
Remembered it. Millie Bobby Brown. She is great.
I knew it was an M. I wanted to say Mackenzie.
No, she's really good in this. They actually give her quite a bit to emotions to chew on in this, and she does really well. Kyle Chandler does his Kyle Chandler thing. Kyle Chandler is great in everything.
He really is.
He's now been in a King Kong movie. He's now been in a Godzilla movie. The dude's just charismatic all around. You can't go wrong with Kyle Chandler, and he brings a lot of charisma to the scenes that he's in. Mm-hmm. So for me, the human characters, they do get a little quippy sometimes. There is a Marvel-esque type of humor.
Yeah, I was going to say that in the things that I didn't like.
I didn't mind it. I actually kind of liked it. It added some levity to some of the scenes.
But it didn't hit. Like, there was only one or two things that they said that were supposed to be quirky and funny in very serious moments that just it didn't hit with me. Like, I don't think I laughed. I think there's only like one part that I actually laughed in the whole film.
Moving on, what was your favorite scene?
I mean, I really did like the fire demon.
You know what, the scene in the middle, the awakening?
The awakening, yeah, the fire demon. When he came out, and then there were big scenes, and then there were big fighting, and there were big monsters, and then there were more big monsters, and it was really exciting.
That was it. Because I was going to say, outside of using the ending as a cop-out, because the ending battle...
That's why I didn't say the ending.
Because the ending battle is reminiscent in its size and grandeur as what you get in Pacific Rim. Godzilla's final action sequence rivals that. You were saying?
Oh, no, I was just going to say that I think I chose this scene in particular because I really got to see the scope of the other monsters. Because in the first one, you don't really get to see... You get to see 2 monsters, right? Or 3?
No, it's the 2. It's the 2 Mutos.
But then in this one, you really get to see the larger scopes of all the different monsters that there are besides just Godzilla. When he came out, I was like, oh, crap, they're really going to pull... monsters coming out from every angle. Like, I knew there's 17 of them, and I knew you were going to see at least more than 2 or 3, but this was like more than I even could have asked for. I mean, this was great to see, like, all different kinds, and he was really, really cool. Like, he looks like awesome. Something, the fire demon, that's what his nickname is, right?
Rodan.
What's his real name?
Rodan the fire demon is what they call him.
Sure.
So I agree with you. My favorite scene is the Rodan awakening scene. It's like when you start to see like the monsters actually have personalities. Rodan actually wakes up and he's actually kind of like cunning and he's looking around. He's like, you can see them thinking. Yeah. In the action sequence, it's actually fun to watch. Yeah. It's just fantastic. There's also quite a few Easter eggs in that scene. It ends at one particular, like one massive Easter egg, one massive callback to the original Godzilla film, which I was not expecting in this film, which I was really excited about. A lot of that goes down in the film throughout. So if you're someone like me who knows the history, who's seen all these films, all this stuff just like sort of plays into the nostalgia feeling that I had watching it that I don't think your average moviegoer is going to have. Like seeing some of the stuff go down, people are going to react to it like I may have. I'm like, oh crap, they're actually using that. And I immediately call back, that was in the original Godzilla film. That harkens back to 60 years ago. So there's other stuff that's from movies from 20 years ago that's in this. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome that they went there. That I don't think that's stuff that's going to resonate with people outside of the Godzilla bubble. And I think that's one of the reasons for me why I liked it as much as I did. Finally, like, when it was all said and done, I was like, finally, a big Hollywood budgeted Godzilla action film that I've wanted for a really long time, and this delivered. The other thing I really liked is the music. Bear McCreary made fantastic music. My absolute favorite moment in the film is Godzilla rising from the ocean with the Godzilla theme song accompanying him coming up.
I know, I was staring right at you.
That's when I got giddy. That's when it was just like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for.
You were very adorable.
Yeah, I was like tapping along to the beat of the music. I was like, and Bear McCreary just hits just all the beats, everything. Just waited a long time for a moment like that. I'm actually surprised they didn't use the theme song in the previous film because it works so well. Moving on to the things that we didn't like. You were hinting at it earlier. You want to go ahead and go into, you didn't think it was as funny as it should have been.
I don't think that it needed to be funny. I didn't really think that they needed any of the moments to try and make it funny. I didn't think there was any time that you needed to laugh. I mean, yeah, like quirks are good in movies, but if it's not going to work, then it shouldn't be in there. I mean, I just didn't think that they fell where they were supposed to. Yeah,
like one of the scenes that made me cringe that was supposed to be funny was they're having this meeting with the Senate or some like U.S. Army heads.
Oh, that didn't even bother me when he like played the video and said that like, you may or may not see.
Yeah, here's how Titans procreate. Hopefully they blurred the genitals in this one, and he plays the Mutos from the first movie when they get together, and you see like blocky, like they sort of blur out the Mutos. I was like, ugh, really? It was just crass, and I felt it was kind of unnecessary. That's as crude as the jokes get, but it's like one of the examples where it's like, it was supposed to be funny, it just didn't hit with me.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think that his character was bad or anything, and I think whether he was in the movie or if he wasn't in the movie, I think it wouldn't have made a difference.
That was the other guy that I thought that they were trying to be funny with.
Oh, the older guy?
Yeah. When he's like, open the blast door, it's like, oh yeah, why don't you invite him in and have a beer with him too? Or something like that. I
giggled at that, but like that wasn't, his delivery wasn't as bad. His was better.
I enjoyed his character. I didn't think it was as funny as I thought they were being.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where you're either going to be on board with that stuff or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
I was on board with it for the most part. It actually livened up the characters. The characters, at least in this one, felt like they had a bit of a pulse.
Yeah.
But it also sort of takes away from the gravitas of the situation. So it's like when Godzilla is outside of their bunker, wherever they're at in the ocean, and like they're making quips like that, it doesn't feel as serious as it should. Was there any other issues that you might have had with the film?
Not really.
Okay, so for me, first thing off the bat, that the movie sort of is promoting.
I feel like you have a checklist right now.
The movie's promoting what's supposed to be this big, huge, bombastic monsters, all-out monsters action movie. And yes, we do get this monster film, but it's heavily centered around King Ghidorah and Godzilla. And the other monsters, Mothra and Rodan, are very much, I don't want to say sidelined, but they don't play as large of a role in this film as the trailers would have you believe.
Mm-hmm.
Their scenes boil down to maybe, I want to say, 2 scenes that they're in. Their screen time is limited, and I was disappointed by how limited they were in the film. I did like the moments we got with them. I just wanted more.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they could have balanced it out a little bit more, but with my expectations on check, maybe with the rewatch, I'd be more okay with it. But going into it, I was expecting a little bit more of Mothra and Rodan. That's pretty much the extent of my dislikes. It's just the human characters maybe got a little too quippy. Would have liked a little bit more Mothra and Rodan. But at the end of the day, highly enjoyable. Is there no other dislikes for you?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Just before we end this, there is a post-credit scene to this film. So stick around if you're interested. If you like the film, there is something that they're teasing that's coming. If you're confused by what it is that they're teasing, you go ahead and drop in the comments because I know what they're talking about. I'll be absolutely shocked if they actually go full Toho in where they're hinting at where they're going with this. I will be both optimistically curious but highly excited if they actually go where I think they're going. So, with all that said, I am actually very excited for Godzilla vs. Kong. I actually feel much more invested in the Monsterverse at large after this film than I did after Godzilla 2014 and Kong Skull Island. And I just feel like this was a Godzilla film for me. It's really is a Godzilla film for Godzilla fans.
It was meant just for you.
Just for me.
Just for you.
Doherty was thinking just of me when he made this.
Yes, he did.
He's the writer director of this.
Yep.
So, okay, that's it for me.
That's it for me.
All right, that's it for us. I think this one went a little long, but I didn't have a choice. Sorry, guys. Okay? Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you like this, like and subscribe to see more. We've got more coming. X-Men Dark Phoenix next week. So, see you next time, guys.